Welcome to Gold Derby's Meet the Experts film, makeup, and hair panel. I'm so thrilled to be joined by the best of the best in the business. With me are Karen Hartley-Thomas from Golda, Thomas Nellen from Killers of the Flower Moon, Lori McCoy-Bell from Maestro, Jana Carboni and Francesco Pegoretti from Napoleon, and Luisa Abel and Jaime Leigh McIntosh for Oppenheimer. What a group of films and what a year for film. I mean, this is a really incredible lineup. I would love to just sort of discuss the directors that you worked with real quickly. Oscar winner Guy Nativ, Oscar winner Martin Scorsese, 9-time Oscar nominee Bradley Cooper, 4-time Oscar nominee Ridley Scott, 5-time Oscar nominee Christopher Nolan. This is who you all are working with. So that's bonkers. So I want to hear your perspective. How much does the director impact your work as a makeup and hairstylist? And how important is their collaboration for you? And I'll start with Thomas. Talk about working with Martin Scorsese and what guidance you get from him and what he appreciates specifically about your work.
Well, actually, after like 3 weeks of shooting, I put the question out there if Marty likes everything we're doing and if he's happy, because I hadn't heard anything and or didn't really get any feedback from anybody. And then I asked that the line producer, and he looked at me with sort of a weird face and he said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Well, I just want to make sure that we are, that everybody's happy and everybody's on the same page." And he said, "Look, the reason why you're here, there's a reason for that. And if Marty wasn't happy with what you're doing, you would have heard it like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the fact that you're here, there's nobody here that is not supposed to be here. So take this for an answer." And I said, "Okay, I got it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it."
So no news can be good news with Marty.
No news was good news, yes.
And Jana and Francesco, Ridley Scott, same thing. This man's making epic after epic. He's 86 years old, a total legend. What was your experience with him, and what's his approach to your work?
Well, I always say that Ridley is the youngest director in the business because he's so bold and he's so brave. I mean, you cannot better than that. And for him, image is so important. It's the first things for him. And it's very visual. So he's a painter. So he talk in terms of colors and shade and tones. So it's very intriguing. And I say it's quite nice to have a lot of freedom. You never, you can always push yourself out of your comfort zone and do something slightly different, and something maybe is not what people are going to expect. And it's very happy with that. It's very bold. It's a very bold director. And I say it's very young. I remember when we're thinking about the victim ball, when they have all this kind of pixie shortcut, I say to him, I'm thinking about The Cure. And he said to me, "Oh, The Cure, the band." I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's a great idea." So we went from there for something actually is a period piece, because, as he said, it's not a history lesson. It is a movie. It's about imagination. It's about dream. And yes, you have to be of, of course, history kind of background. But when you know the history, you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You have to have the knowledge. When you have the knowledge, you can be brave enough to do something slightly different. And for him, he works, he's an amazing drawer. So he draw to you whatever is talking to you. So you say, I want this to look like this. And it just do in 5 seconds. And you have exactly what he wants. So, it's a great privilege. I feel very lucky artistically, so it's great.
And Karen, you have a younger director in comparison, but he's an Oscar winner for his short film Skin, which I thought was brilliant. And he's Israeli. He was focused on getting this film right for Golda and her family. How important was that collaboration with him? And what do you look for in a director to make a film successful, and what's promising about his career?
Guy was literally our driving force, there's no question about that. As I said earlier, he was the one that pushed for us to go for the prosthetics. He was so enthusiastic in every department. He definitely brings the crew together, all the HODs, to feel you're part of a team. And he's very, very keen on the artistic and creative element of it. Not all directors are. And at the same time, he's very, very supportive and understanding. So yes, definitely, guys, one of the best directors I've worked with.
And Laurie, Bradley Cooper is an interesting one because he's got his hands in everything here. So you're the only one that's not working with a director. You're literally putting the makeup and hair on the director of the film. So what type of energy does he bring to the set as a director? This is his second feature. He's clearly in his wheelhouse. I mean, it's an impressive film. So what is he like as a director, and have you seen evolve throughout all the years you've worked with him?
Yeah, I've seen quite an evolution of Bradley Cooper through the years as you grow and you get more experience, and your energy can go into where he is now. I mean, he is very collaborative. He expects 100% honesty. There, and we speak in those terms. So and he has everything. He's very organized. He has every shot exactly what he wants to get. I think he's already shooting that, like he already is cutting that in his mind, so we don't shoot unnecessarily scenes like amount of takes, because he knows exactly what piece he wants for what. I've never worked with someone that was so organized, so focused, and so 100% in. I mean, all of the directors here that we've worked with on this panel are amazing in their own ways, and they all have their own way of doing it, So my experience with Bradley is it's easy to work with him. It's easy to work with him. He's very transparent. He tells you everything you need to know. He wants to collaborate with you. He wants your opinion. And we're all on the same page, and, in all of the departments of the film. And we make great art, that way. And it's great that he's so approachable, and no question is a funny question or an odd question to him. Like, he'll fully, answer anything. So like, he's really easy to talk to and work with. Like, it's amazing. Can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah. And Luisa and Jaime, last and certainly not least, we've got Christopher Nolan here. What is the energy that he brings to set? And could you feel on Oppenheimer of him just working? What's his collaboration like with you and making everyone feel the way they do on set?
Yeah, I mean, it was my first time working with Chris, and it was a joy. He is incredibly collaborative. Communication is fantastic. So because we're there to facilitate what he needs, he gets that communication and his needs to us, and so we can understand what direction we need to go in. And it makes you feel incredibly supported across the board. I mean, he runs a tight ship. It's all very smooth. You know what's going on, and it feels good.
Yeah, he's very detail oriented. He's always by camera. So, and he cares about everything. So he's very aware of what we do. He's technically very aware of what we do. And he's very decisive. So a lot of the choices that had to be made are made during prep. So he knows what he wants, and he communicates that in a very direct way. So it's actually very easy to work with Chris, because he really knows what the vision is for his film. So we're really there to facilitate that for him.
I'm curious, as makeup and hairstylists, it's a craft that's clearly in the film business, but there's also makeup artists and hairstylists that don't work in film. And I'm wondering from each of you, what sparked that interest in you to be a part of film or television? Was there a film that you saw that you were like, wow? I mean, I remember the first time I recognized makeup was probably Freddy Krueger. I like that's my age. But is there a film or an artist that inspired you to get into this field? And what age did you decide, yeah, I want to be in the film business, not just doing hair and makeup? And I'll start with you again, Thomas.
Well, one of the first movies that had a big impact on me was The Sound of Music.
Okay.
It's a musical, and it was so fantastic. I loved the music, and I loved just the vibe of it all, and the happiness and the cheerfulness, even though it was a problem. But like the Baroness, I loved her character, how she was portrayed, and of course Julie Andrews was wonderful. I just love musicals generally. And but why I really wanted to become a makeup art, because I started with acting school and decided acting wasn't sort of my thing, because I never felt really comfortable in front of a camera or on stage for that matter. And I was always more the one who would peek through the curtain to make sure that they look great and they get the applause and they get the attention that they deserve for the character that they're portraying. And in the film world, as a makeup artist, you definitely have a voice. You have an impact. You can help the actors with their performances. Like I did a movie here in Switzerland like 4 years ago, after 25 years, the first time. And I won from the Swiss Film Academy award for that. And then the lead actress, she wrote me this wonderful letter saying that, I thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you so much, not only for your beautiful work and all the wonderful products that you used on me, but also the mental makeup you gave me that really helped me to get into the character. And I thought that says it all for me. I mean, I don't need any more than that, as long as I can be. It's like being of service. At the same time, you can be creative. It's collaborative team effort. You meet wonderful, wonderful people all around the world. I've been everywhere, basically, hardly ever in LA, but you learn a lot on a daily basis, and you have to interact with people, and you have to be clear of what you want,
Francesco, how about you? What sort of films do you remember, or what inspired you to get into the film business doing hair?
Probably Moulin Rouge. I like a lot of Moulin Rouge, I think. Inspired me a lot. And when I saw this movie the first time, I was 18 years old. They said to me, "Oh, this is beautiful. I'd like to be part of this world." But honestly, I was born in this world because my mother, she's a hair designer too. And so I started to play with the hair when I was very, very, very young. But the movies that really inspired me at the beginning, I think it was Moulin Rouge.
And Karen, how about you?
Well, my family are big film viewers. We've always loved watching film. And when I was about 13, a film director moved opposite my house. And he asked me one day, would you like to come on the set? I jumped at it, of course. And I just remember at 13, I can't imagine what was going on in my mind, but I thought, now then, this doesn't seem to be like work. This looks like fun. What shall I try to do? So he introduced me to all of the departments, and I went into makeup, and it was a television series, I think it's called Survivors, about people living underground, and there were lots of prosthetics and aging and wigs. So I thought, right, that's what I'm going to do. And I thought, how am I going to do it? So I applied to the BBC as soon as I could when I was about 20. And yeah, I've loved it ever since. I actually don't ever think, I feel like I've done a day's work, if you know what I mean. It's just an amazing, amazing world to be a part of. And I feel very privileged for that.
So you knew incredibly young, like 13 years old.
13, I know.
Wow.
Well, I can't imagine my 13-year-old self being so sort of, now then, hang on, what am I going to do on this set? But
I
I
don't
did.
think I even thought of a job when I was 13 years old.
Oh, I know.
Um,
I was old before my time, clearly, wasn't I?
Luisa, how about you?
I think probably the MGM movies, like old movies. I really loved them when I was younger. And going into film, probably, I think the detail of the work, knowing that whatever you do actually does matter, that it really does get seen, and being able to tell stories. I definitely feel that with films you get to do that. And the old movies, they really sort of, I loved watching them. So, it's a different time, but I think that that's what inspired me to go into it. And I was probably about 17 when I really thought I could do it,
And how did you get on your first set?
Well, I started off initially actually in theater. I worked at the English National Opera here and did theater. And then I moved into movies. So I ended up meeting somebody that I worked with, and just went on from there.
Jaime Leigh?
Well, I started in the salon and knew that that was going to probably at some point bore me to death, maybe. I knew I wanted to do something else, and I watched a behind-the-scenes film called Full Tilt Boogie, which was behind the scenes and making of From Dusk Till Dawn. And I just thought it looked like so much fun. I was just like, what do I need to do to make that happen? So I just started taking the steps to do it.
And Lori, how about you?
My story, I think, is a little different because I didn't set out to work in the film industry. I mean, at 13 years old, when I got my first professional haircut and at Vidal Sassoon in Beverly Hills, I'm like, I want to be a hairdresser. And in high school, I went to beauty school and finished up when I graduated high school. And I was working at 18 years old, like as a hairstylist, and loved it. And some of my clients just happened to be like a writer or director and things like that. So they asked me to work on some short films that they had. And, I thought, oh, this is exciting. I could go and work in the film industry or make a video, I think at the time, but and it just, things just started coming at me that way. And it kind of, I decided, let me see where it takes me. I'll leave the salon world and let's see what this door that keeps opening for me will present to me. So I went for it, but I was a little bit older. I was 30, 30 by then. And so it wasn't something that I aspired to do at a young age, like some of our panelists. But I like all kinds of movies. I like, Breakfast at Tiffany's for period film and beautiful stuff like that. But I also like The Exorcist, and I thought that was amazing. The makeup in that, and 73 and Elephant Man, like things like that are just so interesting to me. And I just go, here I am. I'm on a ride. Here I am now with the lovely people here on this panel, and appreciate being here.
And Jana, I understand that you come from a lineage.
Yeah.
So explain that.
The fourth generation. So, well, very similar to Francesco, all my mom family is working in the business. I mean, my mom was a costume designer, my granddad was a director. But of course, because of that, I didn't want to be in the business. So I went to art school and I want to be a painter. This was my idea. So I was to art school until 20. So I did all my degree, and my idea was to just be a painter. And then I remember my mom said to me, well, you have to earn some money. So I said, okay. And my brother was second AD on a beautiful period movie of Giuseppe Tornatore called 900, The Legend of the Pianist. And he said to me, oh, why you don't come with me to meet the makeup and hair people? They're so cool. I quite kind of like prosthetic, was kind of my thing. But I didn't know anything about prosthetic. It was just like something I quite like. So he said to me, oh, they are doing a lot of aging. It's so cool. You should come over. I said, okay. And he said to me, oh, by the way, we have to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, what? I said, yes, because, the actor and the chair, like at 4 o'clock in the morning. And again, my family was in the business. I say I always keep myself for myself. I didn't actually want to know anything. So funny enough, I was like more an outsider. So it took me like a week to decide to go with him because I was very shy. I mean, really shy, very introverted. And I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I went with him, and I remember, he introduced me to the makeup designer, who was Luigi Rocchetti, and to the hair designer, who was Aldo Signoretti. And I remember sitting in a corner, looking at them. And then I thought, oh my gosh, this is magic. What they're doing. I mean, they're really transforming those people. And I said, this is actually what I want to do. And of course, it helped that in that room, they were the best of the best. I mean, like Alden and Luigi, they were incredible. So I was looking people perform their job at their best. So I said, I'm gonna take the courage. I'm gonna ask them if they can be like a trainee for them, help them, clean the table, brush the whatever. So they say, yes, of course, you can, come here, just help us. So I did all the movie as a trainee, but to be honest, I mean, it didn't pay me, so it was for free. So I worked for that for the production, for I would say 3 months solid. And I think in 3 months, probably I say one word. I didn't talk all through that time because I was so intrigued about what they were doing. And then I thought, I really would like to do that. But as I say, I wasn't very outspoken. So I thought, probably that's it, and there were other people around me more outspoken. So I thought if they have to pick someone, they're going to pick the public and, chatty people instead of me. And at the end of the movie, actually, they came to me and they said to me, oh, we really would like you to join us on the next job as a trainee. Of course, you're going to be paid. And these are started. I mean, I think was quite good for me because of my art school. I knew how to sculpture and I knew how to paint. So it was a good background to go ahead.
You came a long way since then.
And then I was quite fun with my parents, when I say to them, oh, actually, I want to work in the business. Say, what? So I had to really put like a brave face and say that to them. And about the movie,
we have to wrap right there, but sorry, we're out of time. But I just want to congratulate everyone once again for each of your incredible films: Golda, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Napoleon, and Oppenheimer. Best of luck to all of you this award season. It was such a pleasure to have you on Golda Ree's Film, Makeup, and Hair panel, and we look forward to seeing what happens throughout this season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Good luck,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
All right.
Bye.